Under the military, we confronted obnoxious decrees, particularly Decree 2, and the NBA fought it. There were other decrees that were confronted. Now, we need to fight the Cyber Crimes Act, which is currently used now to silence critics. In the case of Otto Nwankwo and the state, 1995, I think, for the Nigerian Constitutional Law Report, page 2 to it. The Court of Appeal said, in declaring illegal provisions of the criminal code relating to sedition, that the freedom gained from our colonial masters must be trial. And if you are a public officer and you feel too irascible of criticism, cover your 2 ears with cotton wool, for criticism is indispensable in a democratic society. What they do now, if you demonstrate, you may be charged with treason or terrorism. We had a protest recently against kidnapping. They couldn't stop us. But this regime organized its own people to attack us. In the Kenya here, they took over where we wanted to take off. And when I attempted to address them, because I should know many of them, they covered their faces. But you know, very significant, in the vest meant for them, they wrote better days ahead. And I took on that. So there are no good days now. You're only talking about better days ahead. So allow us to demonstrate. Now, for now, as we're moving towards 2027, there are lawyers that are prepared to schedule the process, just like June 12th. And that's why you're having this conflicting judgment. So the NPA must be up and doing and monitor lawyers and ensure that we don't frustrate the whole process. Yes, I know Shegun very well. It can be a very, very negative when it comes to a challenge of the status quo. But what will surprise you here is that is a very close friend of a president that abolished poverty in some country to the extent that the West is trying to study what happened in Brazil under Lula. Now, and Lula was not just a protester. He was a revolutionary of the highest moral tradition. There's no way you are going to take criminals out of the political system in Nigeria without protesting against them. If children are captured, and just imagine 4-year-old kids in the rain, in the sun, for the past 6 weeks. 40 days. Just imagine that a general has just died from snake bites. Not what do you call it? Not starvation, not hypertension, not diabetes. The family has said, he didn't have the history, but the children said, when we saw him and the wife has come out, you know, just imagine that the children in the forest, mosquitoes, snakes, scorpions, and the rest of them. Now, if people in Abuja are going around as if nothing has happened in our country, you need to have protests every day in Ibadan. To wake up people and challenge our conscience. And these children could be us. And that there's no way in the world to do. Where $30 million was contributed in 2014, and $145 billion has been added to it in what they call self-school initiative, and that money has been diverted. That is why our rural schools are not, safe. Now you have a governor whose security budget is 1 billion naira a month. In Lagos, you can find out, it's actually Wikipedia. You can find it here. In Lagos, is about 1.4 billion a month. You ask yourself, is this money spent to secure our people? Someone, we just discussing about this buying of votes. And I just asked myself, when did this start? It started in Lagos. No, please. No. I mean, AP80, Alliance for Democracy was on top then. Like I said, your party was on top. So, we were then told, they was okay. Because you couldn't do it publicly there. They was okay to the ordinary people. Vote upstairs and then come and collect. Now, the EFCC chairman made a disclosure recently, and nobody challenged him. He was addressing leaders of political parties in the lobby, and he said the primaries is just concluded. Some candidates spent up to 20-30 billion for primary. We're not talking of the election. Now, where did they get the money from? Your money and mine. Apart from the Dangote in Nigeria, there's nobody who can spend 20 billion on an election enterprise. But they are, Sheikh mentioned the removal of fuel subsidy. Now, when they removed it, what did they do with the money? It is that money has now empowered and enriched certain people in Abuja and the state capital beyond their contemplation. And some of them have come up publicly, including the governor of Lagos. None of us can complain now. We have more money than we ever thought we would have. And we're not asking questions. And that is the duty of lawyer. It's not to get the respondent. They are very happy that you are tired. You are not interested. You have no confidence in the system. They are very happy. Because of that day from the answer you got now, many people will not even go there. Because you don't believe your votes will count. So why will you go and waste your time? And that is what they want. To disinterest the people in the political system. So that they can go on. But I am not as pessimistic. When we are gathered like this hall, the people here can make a change in Lagos. Absolutely. You can decide today. We can announce today. No Nigerian in Lagos will be excluded from participation in politics. Because they did it the last time. But you know what happened? My son came to me, who died. How can you have a system like this? People are not allowed to call some of my friends. Can you get some of them to come up? We are going to call for them. So that it don't continue again. After about 1 week, I asked Young Alpha. He said they are not interested in going to play. No, you don't also play them. Which comes? But what shall we say? The area that within our control, we know the lawyers that are destroying the system. We know the judges who can count them on our fingertips. What do we then do? Having isolated them. It is to expose them and embark on getting them out of the system. If a judge says, and the law is very clear, right, that all matters of National Industrial Court shall end in the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court decides to entertain an appeal from the National Industrial Court. I'm involved in one. I'm not going to clap for those super judges there. I'm going to pursue it. But you ask Nigerians, but only people like you can do it. No, all of us must be ready. And that is why you have the bar association, like Ebu said. It's an umbrella organization. What I did with the NDA, which is possible for us to replicate, is that you can have a body of lawyers that are prepared to defend principles in our country without thinking of, what may happen at the end of the day. At the end of the day, all of us will benefit if everybody can. There's a guy in Abuja now. There's a guy in Abuja. And all of us are lawyers. We don't bother. Somebody won an election. They took him to National Industrial Court, he won. They took him to the Court of Appeal, he won. One Baroa, NURTW. He won in the courts. But somebody else is in the secretariat of the party. And lawyers don't bother. I'm talking of Olomo. He's now the president of National Union of Road Transport for a purpose. Now, what are the attorney general of the country done? What have lawyers done? How can you treat the judgments of our court with such contempt? Now, people must protest, and we're encouraging protest. Because they too are protesting. They too are protesting. So keep the status quo in place. And I've asked my chairman here. I saw your physical exercise very good. You should have carried some cardboards. Free our children. Because for these people, they don't care. Their own children are not around. And all the rural areas, there is no presence of security there. No. So, my sister, no, we don't have any lawyers. Oh, no. We're simply disorganized. About 250,000 lawyers, a population of 250 million people. Apart from Lagos, like Lagos and whatever, in my own parts of the world, apart from Adrekiti, really, you do have lawyers in the rural area. So we must motivate lawyers to go to the rural area where serious operation takes place, so that our people, my sister, you have a point on our own system. In my office, Madame runs a clinic. You cannot believe it. She becomes more successful than any of our courts in terms of managing homes, taking care of children that are abandoned, threatening men who go around, having children not ready to take care of them, by just simply threatening. We're taking you to court. I'm okay, I'm coming. And they will be responsible and directed. Now we can adopt such things. Now there is a place they call Office of the Public Defender in Lagos. How many of us have shown interest? Do they fund those agencies? If we take an admission of criminal justice, if we take it seriously, illegal arrest will stop. It says the moment a Nigerian is arrested or getting to the police station, the police will phone the family. The man is here, and the police will tell you, like Miranda rights in America. You are not bound to make a statement. If you want to make a statement, if it's going to be confession, it will be video recorded. If you want a lawyer, we'll get you one. The police shall contact the legal agency. Please, there's a Nigerian who wants a lawyer here. If you do that every day, the legal agency will be forced to employ not less than 200,000 lawyers. Because Nigerians are demanding for legal service. So, and I've pleaded with the NBA, these ideas, even from the point of view of selfishness, that you can also get jobs for our young ones. Section 63 of Nigerian Police Force Establishment Act provide every police station shall have a lawyer employed to monitor human rights. That's about 5,000 jobs for young lawyers. So we must look at the system. But for election, let's say you have been told, but don't get discouraged. These are the realities. We just had an election in Ekiti. You don't need to campaign now. Until people should come and vote for you. No. On the day of election. 10,000, yes, that is this. Okay. What they are planning for next year is about 20,000. But you know what they did in Ekiti? My friend was there. And I was asking him, what of the police? You now have what they call DPO election. Commissioner CP election. And that is a way of saying, go there and make money. So they will set you there on the eve. So on the day of the election, they will turn the other eye. EFCC officials attempted to make arrests, I think, in Ekiti. The young people walk them out. Get out of here. And their boss told them, don't let anybody attack you. They say you shouldn't do your work, leave the place quietly. That is where we are. Now, what do we do? And we can start with Lagos. Because this is where we have 7 branches. No. You know what I mean? We have 7 branches of the NBA in Lagos. We can meet and decide that in Lagos, every vote must count. And we go all out to prepare to make every vote count. If we can start with Lagos, we can start elsewhere. And if you go to Imo, where number 4 became number 1. But we can also insist that you do not play again. But please find out on our courts. On our courts, I have challenged one, I've told you before, that the photograph of the governor is hung in every court. We must start with that. It's symbolic. It's also to take judges from that place. Then the law, constitution says, the judiciary shall be financially independent. Doctor, but the money for the judiciary is still given by Alapsa all the time. These are areas we can look at. Then the manner of appointments of judges. The NBA is again I can't fault for this. That before you appoint judges, lawyers know them. Lawyers must make some contribution. So they then write to us, NBA, we want to consider the following candidates. The names are never brought to the meeting. These letters, if they are written at all, because we don't want to offend people, in case the person gets appointed, it makes me an enemy. But you can use the name of the organization. But only a meeting, 5 people are being considered for appointment. What is your comment on each of them? By the time they know that we are taking over the profession, everybody will sit up. I can't imagine like yourself. Just said, I am not going to become a son because we fought for the abolition, whatever. Okay. But the day Aka was elected as president, he wrote to the heads of all courts in Nigeria. Whenever there is a valedictory service or any program to which you are inviting the bar, after the Attorney General of the Federation, who is the leader of the official bar, the president of the bar shall be called to address the meeting. And all of them complied. So instead of calling the leader of the SAN, after the Attorney General, she wouldn't. It was the turn of Aka. Even when Aka was not in the country on one occasion, Mrs. Kuya was vice president number 3. She had to become before the leader, because Aka didn't believe in this inner and outer bar. For Aka, there was only one bar. And so for us, we can take over our profession. I'm suggesting an urgent meeting of the 7 branches of the NBA in Lagos to decide to make every vote count in 2027.